Next month, we're here on Thursday.
This didn't pop up. I clicked on these two, what's supposed to be, and they said this will pop up. You got to turn on the stream feed. It didn't pop up.
As long as it's recorded. As long as it's recorded.
Okay, well, that's fine. It's recording right now.
Okay. Forward it, because he can put it on there.
Okay.
So it's showing recording.
It's on. We're ready to go. Okay, cool.
Okay, welcome to our last Saturday session, last monthly meeting for 2019, as we get into a new year next year. We've got a full agenda this morning. As usual, we'll be doing the financial report. We'll talk about our membership, computer club matters, and training in our classes, and community matters. And then we'll go on to our presentation. The feature presentation today is on doorbell cameras, and we also have a last-minute holiday gift guide. Looking at our financial report, pretty much the same as last month. The numbers are maybe $100 or so more than it was last year. So we're still, looking quite good. Additional donations to the craft and food pantry. And best of all, our membership is increasing each month. So now we're up to 1,622. And we keep increasing right up through June as everybody gets their last minute early renewals. Let's make note of the fact that our computer lab will be closed from December 20th. So it will be open on the 19th, which is a Thursday. Be closed from the 20th through January 1st, and then we'll be reopening on Thursday, January 2nd. So don't try to come to the lab during from the 20th till the end of the year, because we will be closed. And this is the last of our Saturday meetings, as next month we start on a new schedule for our monthly meetings here in Trendle. Will be on the second Thursday of every month. So it'll be on Thursday, January 9th will be the next meeting, and then Thursday, February 13th, Thursday, March 12th, and so on. So be easy to remember. It'll always be on the second Thursday of the month. And same time, same place, just a different day. And we wanted to wish everybody happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate, and of course, a Happy New Year for 2020. And then reviewing our lab hours. The lab is open on Mondays and Thursdays, Thursday mornings from 9 to noon, and Tuesday evenings we're open from 5:30 to 8:30. And always remember to bring in your passwords unless you have them memorized. People forget their passwords, and then they have to either run home or call someone to get to figure out what their passwords are, or in the worst case, we have to set up new passwords for them.
Power cord also.
And yeah, if you have a laptop that you're bringing in, you want to bring in a power cord to go with it. And if you have a mouse to go with that laptop, you can bring that along too if you want. Our class schedules, always check our newsletter for that, and emails that come through. We'll have class schedules and different announcements that will be sent out to you. The two subgroups we have, the Apple group meets on the second and fourth Tuesdays at 9 o'clock, and the photography group normally meets on the first Wednesday evening. We're on a winter recess right now until April 1st. So, but of course, this is a great time to take holiday photos, and winter photography can be quite good as well. And we'll let Ralph talk about our class schedule coming up. Ralph?
Well, as you know, there's no classes in December. We don't have them in July, August, and December because it's summertime. Nobody wants to come to class, and December we're too busy. But I'm working on January. Now, so far I've got 6 classes scheduled for January. I'm just going to tell you what they are. If I tell you the dates and times you won't remember, I won't remember. But watch the newsletters, like Shelley said. On the Saturday emails, David always sends out Saturday emails to tell you what's coming up the next week or the next 2 weeks or the third week, depending on where we are in the month. But just give you an idea, we've got an introduction to Windows 10, figuring that there'll be a few people getting new computers for Christmas. And right now you got to get a Mac or a Windows 10. And if you are on Windows and get a new 10, there's a few things that are different. It's a really good system, but there's a few things that you look at and say, I don't know where to find this. So we'll try to help you do that. Got a couple of Android classes scheduled during the month. We've got an iPhone class scheduled. Another one. How about this? And back up your computer. People come into the lab and say, well, I'm having trouble with my computer. I think it died. Well, did you back up your stuff? And you can tell without any word, just to look like that. They didn't. So this class is going to tell you a little bit about how you need to back up and save things, because there's some important documents and pictures that you certainly don't want to lose. And eventually all computers are going to fail one way or the other. So you need to kind of get information on that class. And let's see, that's all I have in January right now. So I figure we'll probably have maybe 6 or 7 classes. And once again, watch your email and watch the newsletter. They'll all be in there. Another thing, I'm still looking for more instructors. Some of the instructors are getting tired. They've been doing it for years and years. And I know that there's people out there that you folks know something about a subject on the computer. There's nobody that knows everything. There's a lot of people that know a lot about something. And it's really simple. I mean, you're not under a lot of pressure. I mean, I've even done it. That's how easy it is. So I think that if you got a subject, maybe it could be Excel, it could be photography, whatever. Let's talk about it and try to put a class on it. You know what? You will learn as much as you're teaching people. It's amazing how the instructors say, I teach that class and I learned this and this and this, because nobody knows everything, remember. Another thing, one last thing, if anybody's interested in helping with the recording of the meetings like we're doing here, Jeff and I and Ken are able to do it. I think I'm not very good at doing it, but if you're interested, it's not real hard, according to Ken. We'd sure be interested in talking to you, because we'd like to rotate it around a little bit better to help get the meetings recorded. So looking forward to seeing more people with classes. Thank you.
Thanks, Ralph. And as always, if you're looking for a specific class, let one of us know if we have a demand, a good enough demand for any topic that you might be interested in. We'll try to find someone who can instruct that class and try to put it on our schedule for you. Okay, looking at what's going on in the Sun City community, the board meeting, the next board meeting will be Wednesday, January 8th. And they're moving it now from Drendel here over to Birch in the Fountain View. The model railroad, if you haven't seen the train display, they're running through December 29th from 11 to 3 and weekends from 11 to 5. So make sure you take a look at that, and of course all of the great displays that are out there for Christmas and Hanukkah. The Encore Chamber Orchestra has a free concert this coming Tuesday, and that's from 1 to 3. There's a Carpenters tribute concert. It's actually their Christmas concert, and that'll be next Thursday at 7, and that one is $18. And the cam desk, of course, is closed, so you need to get your tickets through the fitness center. And with that, we get on to our main presentations for today. Our holiday gift guide. We did a short one last month, and Bill Zaletti will be doing one now, and then we'll be doing our presentation on Doorbell cameras.
Thank you. Morning, everyone.
Good morning.
So I have just a few things for you this morning. I'm not going to take a lot of your time, but I look up online to find out what the hottest gifts are for 2019 coming up, and these are the ones, at least I've selected a few of them that I thought would be interesting to you. This one's called FIXD. It's for your automobile. I looked at my Prius this morning as I was driving over here, and sure enough, there's a plug that the FIXD will plug into in your car. You put the app on your phone. It supports both Android and iPhone, so that you can detect what's going on in your car. If your emergency lights come on, it'll tell you what's happening. So when you take it into the shop, you can direct them exactly what needs to be done, as opposed to depending on the mechanics there telling you what, and sometimes they don't even know right off the bat. The next one is Google Translate. Has anyone in here ever used Google Translate? Okay, then you know how, those of you who have, you know how powerful it is. Two different ways that I've used it. One is if you're in a foreign country or you're in a situation where you need to speak a language other than the English, that's the only language I speak, and you want to translate to someone, you can speak into your device and then ask it to translate back to, and say German or Spanish or French or whatever, and it will translate back to them so they understand what your question is. They can then respond to you in that language and ask it to translate it back to you. If you haven't used it, it's very powerful. You can also do the same thing with written text. So if you want to send some sort of written text to someone in a different language, you type it up in English, you go to Google Translate, it'll translate it directly into that text. I'm told, since I don't speak any of these languages or work with them, that grammatically it converts it correctly. I think they have between 5 and 7, at least 5 and 7 languages that grammatically it will translate. So if you haven't tried that one, it's quite powerful. Photo Stick. This is an interesting one. You plug it into your computer. It'll search your computer and it'll find all the photographs on your computer and store them on the stick. One of the things Shelley mentioned earlier about, no, I guess it was Ralph talking about, did you back your computer up? Oftentimes we'll get people come in and they want to, and they're moving to a new computer, and they'll say, I want all of my files moved over there. Well, where are your files? I don't know. So we have to go through and search for all the files, and oftentimes they're in multiple folders on your computer, and we try to capture all of them. For your pictures, this stick will go through your entire computer and find all of your photos, no matter where you store them, no matter where they may be, or attached to an email or what have you, and it'll bring them into one place for you. And then you can take that, once you have them, and organize them however you want to on your new computer. This is called KeySmart. I thought this was a pretty interesting one. This one organizes all of your keys, so you take all of your keys off of whatever different rings that you're using them on today, and you put them into this one device, and it collapses, and it's much more handy to put in your purse or put in your pocket, depending on where you store your keys. This one's called iBobber. How many people fish in here? Oh, come on. There you go. I know there's a few of you. This is a pretty interesting one. It's called iBobber, and it'll actually help you sort out and find fish, and even in some fairly deep water. And I know we don't have any deep water right here in Sun City, but wherever you might go and you're fishing, we thought this would be a pretty interesting little gift for you, for those who fish, or for those that you know that do fish, that you might want to give them a Christmas gift. This one I found on the internet quite by accident. How many of you take pictures with your smartphones? All right, then I would absolutely, I've actually now taken this course twice myself. It takes about 15 to 20 minutes to just go through. It's just a litany of things that you read on how to use your phone more efficiently. But we'll post this, we still post these right on the website, these presentations.
Yes.
You click on that link, and I don't want to do it now because it would take up too much time, but if you click on that link, it takes you directly to the site, and it talks about the best ways you use your smartphone to take pictures, and some of the things that you might not know, or you might be doing differently, or you say, well, I wish I could have done this with this picture. It'll probably help you with that. I thought that was a pretty interesting little tutorial. This is the big thing for 2000 and the end of 2019 going into 2020. These two phones, and the one to the left, the Galaxy S10 and the iPhone 11, are the two top models right now that are out there in the marketplace. If you're an Android user, obviously you're going to migrate to the Galaxy. There are plenty of choices for you, but this is recommended as one of the best ones out there, the Galaxy S10. iPhone 11 has come out with two versions of it. One's called the Pro. That's the one with 3 cameras, you see, and the other one is just the regular iPhone 11 with the 2 cameras. You're welcome to look up it. I was looking at it this morning. It's pretty interesting, the different things you can do with the cameras. But now I'm going to introduce you to something really nice. If you've got an old iPhone and you're looking to upgrade to a newer iPhone, I think you use the, I call it the XR. David calls it the 10R, whatever. The price on that has dropped to $599. It was almost $800 a year ago. It's a brand new phone, and Apple is still supporting the 10R. It's a I shouldn't say stripped down version. It has every capability that you have in every other iPhone, except for the camera. The back of it only has a single camera lens on it. But I have been taking pictures with mine now for over a year, and I honestly cannot tell the difference. I've moved up from the 7 Plus, which had the 2 cameras on it. I can't tell the difference in the photography on it. Also, the iPhone. I'm not selling iPhones, by the way, but the iPhone now, the 11 and the 11 Pro. If you have an older version, they have some pretty interesting options for you to walk in with an old iPhone. They're giving a significant discount for you to upgrade to a new iPhone. If you're an Android user, you won't get that. You would have to go from an iPhone to an iPhone. These are the streaming devices. If you've already uncoupled from one of the either Xfinity or AT&T Uverse or one of the other type of channel options that we have today for television, and you've uncoupled that and you've gone to streaming. These are the 4 main ones that are out there: the Amazon Fire Stick, the Roku, the Chromecast, and the Apple TV. I'm very familiar with the Roku and the Apple TV. I've got one son that uses Roku and the other Apple TV. That's primarily because the one that uses Roku won't touch an Apple product. He won't even look at the phone. So, I guess you know that there are camps that say Apple is bad, so they just don't like those. But these are your 4 main options. If you're an Amazon user and you have Comcast, I know, you can go directly to Amazon and use your account that you're using. or that you have set up with the Prime. So there are lots of different choices out
Hey,
there.
George. Bill, I'm
Bill.
sorry. If I could just talk about the Chromecast here for a moment. It works crazy good, but it's always been $35, whether you bought it on Amazon or Home Depot or whatever stores might have it. It's always been $35. But right
Use
now,
a light if you're gonna talk it.
oh,
Use a light.
sorry. Well, so if anybody's thinking about getting the Chromecast, right now it's $25. And in the whole past year, I've never ever saw it for anything other than $35. So if anyone's thinking about getting,
Too close to this one.
I think it's still 25.
Okay. Okay. Streaming apps. How many of you happened to see recently the awards, not the awards ceremony, but the awards announcement of which movies are going to be nominated for awards in coming out of 2019? Anybody see that? I saw it on BBC recently. I was shocked that Netflix in particular has the largest number of movies that are being awarded that are made by Netflix, for Netflix, and Netflix is now both streaming them directly into your TV, and also they're actually taking the movies that they're making and taking them out to the theaters first in some cases, and then back streaming into their apps. So these three, the Amazon Prime, the new Disney Plus that just came out, and the Netflix are starting to own the entertainment business for us. I thought that was pretty interesting. I have a son that keeps up with us, and he said this is where the future is in entertainment. And we also happen to see, he and I were looking, we also happen to notice that the attendance at theaters, the actual theaters where you're going to watch a movie, as opposed to streaming it onto your TV, has been declining in the last 3 years fairly rapidly. More and more people are opting to go to streaming than they are to the theater. So this is the future in entertainment if this is the direction you want to go. The last thing I have, thank you for David. David Good brought this one to my attention. I thought this was pretty cool. We do have a number of people that walk into the lab and say, how can I take the pictures off of my phone and put them on my computer? Well, this is a little device. It's called a portable flash drive for mobile phones. And you can get, I put up there, the price of it is $24.99 or $54.99, depending on whether you want 8 gigs up to 128 gigs. More is better, but I would think the middle ground on 64 would be a perfect size. So it would be somewhere around, what, about $40 for one of those. You plug it into your phone, take the pictures off your phone, put it on the stick, and then you can see it flips down and just goes right into a USB drive on your computer, and then you can back it up on your computer at that time. Now that's assuming that you're not already pushing your pictures out to Google Drive, Google Cloud, or the iCloud, at this point in time. Question? Yes, George.
Bill, will this,
I'll repeat it for you. I'll repeat the question.
Bill, this will pick everything up off the gallery that you took pictures with your phone. Will this pick up pictures that someone sent you as a text message?
Okay, the question is, this will pick up the pictures off of your gallery, will it pick it off of your text message? No, you would still have to save it from the text message to the gallery, and then you would take it and move it from the gallery into this device. Good question. Any other questions? Anything that I talked about?
One of the earlier things you asked about, or told us about, was the picture stick that takes
Photo stick.
pictures up. Will it pick them up off of an email that is Facebook?
Okay, the question is, will the photo stick pick up pictures off of an email or off of the Facebook? And the answer is probably not, because it's looking on your computer. It's not looking and searching out on all these web choices. So again, if you want a picture into your computer, you need to save it off of Facebook or off of your email. George?
Yeah, when you talked about Google Translate, As for documents, Word will also translate, Word translates to, I think, 20 or 25 different, really some obscure languages,
Okay.
but they'll do a document.
Yeah, did everybody hear what George said, that you can use Microsoft Word as a translator as well as Google Translate? And that's true. I've used both of those. Any other questions? Yes.
I don't have a question, but I was investigating the iPhone, and it appears that you can buy it for the month, or you can have a 2-year, 3-year plan. I don't know if I'm gonna live 3 years. So I just thought we might think about just a monthly plan. I looked at it on the internet, and I don't know if that's correct.
All right, the question is, can I buy an iPhone in particular? And I think this would actually apply to all the phones, not just the iPhone, but can I buy a monthly plan for a phone as opposed to committing to a contract for 2 or 3 years? Not that I'm aware of. David, are you aware of that in Apple? I'm not.
Depends on the provider.
Yeah, it does. It depends on the provider. And whether you're getting the phone directly from Apple in this case, or whether you're getting it through a provider such as Verizon, AT&T, or Sprint. I'm not sure about the cancel. I've never really looked at the cancellation clauses in terms of if we expire, if we're no longer here. Most contracts do have an out for that purpose. I don't know the answer to that, but that's something to ask your provider. Hey, I want to upgrade my phone, but what if my contract, I don't last as long as my contract? Will my kids be responsible for that, or will my state be responsible for that? That's a question I think you need to ask your provider. Hold on a second, David.
Yeah, one of the providers, and they're somehow affiliated with AARP, Consumer Cellular. You can buy them off the shelf at Walmart.
Walmart.
Wow, where'd that go? Anyway, but they offer.
You are, right?
Yeah, how about we go to Venture tomorrow and get some? But the Consumer Cellular, and there are a couple of others you can buy off the shelf. They call them burner phones. You've heard it on TV and such. And they typically run a month-to-month application or a month-to-month contract.
Right.
So you're not locked in. It's not going to be an iPhone. It's going to be a low-end Android phone that doesn't do much other than phone calls.
Yeah.
So there are limitations, but they're cheap.
George?
Basically, I was gonna say the same consumers, but I saw an ad for Consumer Cellular that they did have smartphones in that plan.
Okay.
And it's run through the AT&T network, which is good or bad.
Okay. Joe?
That was my comment. You can buy a phone directly from Consumer Cellular, and besides that, if you're an AARP member, you get a discount off the bill.
Right.
All the phones, with the exception of Pixel, Google phone, buy from Consumer Cellular and a month-to-month plan if you wish. You can change the plan anytime you want. You can take the data on and off.
Yeah. He's talking about Consumer Cellular and the flexibility in it. So if you're interested in that, that's a good choice. Okay. I think, David, let me see, I think you're up. So thank you, everyone.
Give you a minute to readjust here.
Right.
Video doorbells. Before we get into this, I was asked to make a comment earlier You've all seen, I'm assuming you've all seen the news reports of the 8-year-old girl whose bedroom was hacked by, well, that device that was hacked was a product from a company called Ring that also does doorbells. The device that was hacked was not the doorbell camera. It was a different device in the home. The word of caution for any of these items is strong password, changed often. Now, how many of us do that? Nobody. But this is a lesson. It's something we need to do. So from there, we'll move into doorbell cameras. We've seen them a lot on television, right? Part of a news broadcast, either a serious thing where you see a car wreck going down the street, or some humorous things like a moose in your front yard. They're out there and they're very, very popular. There are about a dozen manufacturers. We're not going to talk about all 12. We're going to look at the top 5 based upon analysis by different sources, and we'll touch on that. But what I want to touch on this morning is just some basic things. What are video doorbells? What to look for if you're considering one, and maybe why you should want one or why not. Why a video doorbell? Home security. It's the big thing that's sold on the doorbells themselves. A prime example of why you would want it for security, let's say you are a snowbird, and I'll talk about snowbirds. You may want to have a doorbell camera here when you're in Phoenix. So if somebody comes to the door or tries to come to the door, it'll come up on your phone or your tablet, and you'll be aware of what's going on. A side story here was brought up by one of you to Ralph, who related to me, was a gentleman who was in the military stationed overseas. And he has FaceTime chats with his children through his doorbell. Who knew? But that's one of the interesting little applications. You get a notification when the doorbell rings. Well, sure, you get that when you're home and you don't have a doorbell camera. But if you're indisposed, as they say, and the doorbell rings, it's easier, if you need to respond on your phone. If you take your phone to the John, you know, there are people who can't put their phone down anyway. And likewise, you get notification if there's motion detected. In other words, like the moose in your front yard or deer or whatever. You get a notification, you look at your phone and decide whether or not you want to respond to that. And you do have then a long-term visual recording, a video of what has occurred. And this is the videos you see on the news where you have your, as they call them, their porch pirates who are stealing the UPS packages off your porch, or otherwise where the police can use that information in making arrests and taking it on to court. Who's the potential user? Well, as I said, snowbirds and travelers. If, again, you have a second home somewhere else, and you want to be aware of activity at the door, and you're here, the doorbell camera is going to put it on your phone or your tablet or your computer, and you can see what's happening in Sunrise, Arizona, otherwise known as Del Webb West. Home alones. If you live at home alone and the doorbell rings and you're not sure you want it, well, you can't get there. You look at it on your phone and you can have a conversation with the person at the door if you wish to. I mean, we do get folks coming around wanting us to sign petitions for one thing or another. This is one way to respond to them without actually having to open the door to talk to them. Those with limited mobility. This is a definite boon for them where it's easier to answer your phone and talk to the door than to wheel over in your chair to, again, access the person on the other side of the door. Is it good video quality? Most of them offer very high definition video, and it's just jokes here. It's definitely better than squinting through a peephole in the door. Yes, most have two-way audio, and again, this example of the gentleman overseas having FaceTime conversations with his children at the front door is a prime example of what it's like. Most have a background noise blocker. This would be the cars going down the street, or if you live close to it, the cars going up and down 90. It blocks out the background noise, it blocks out the wind noise, not that we have any wind here at Sun City. Field of view, the best is 160. Now you think about 180 is totally across everything, so 160 is almost there. That's going to be more than enough for your front door. And with a 160 or better, you can see the car in the driveway as well, or a truck or whatever else is there. Easy to install, yeah, it's normally just a couple of screws. I mean, you need to remove the existing doorbell, and that's a couple of screws, and then you replace it with a new one. They're either battery operated or they're wired. Well, your doorbell today is wired, so you could use the same 2 wires going to the doorbell that you have on the home now and have it attached to the video doorbell. There is, yeah, you say, if I put this thing on my door and it costs me $200 and somebody steals it. Well, there's this anti-theft screw that makes it difficult to steal your doorbell camera. And if they do, they'll send an alert and say, I've been taken off your door. Night vision. You do want night vision. Most of them do use infrared lights, which are significantly better than your porch light or your street lights. If you're going to buy one, make sure it has night vision, because that's kind of important when the sun goes down. Multi-user function. This means that the door, someone comes to the door, and the alert can be sent to multiple people at one time. So if you're home, your spouse is out at Jewel or Walgreens or whatever, you can both get the notification. The same would be true if you have the doorbell camera at a remote location. Everyone who's on your list would get the notification that someone's at the door or something is going on. And that functionality should be included at no extra cost for the phone, for the doorbell camera itself. Is the doorbell camera compatible with your brand of smartphone or tablet? Most of them are, but you want to ask the question of the supplier. And does it have a separate in-home user panel? Many of the doorbell folks, like the Ring people who had their own security camera system that was hacked, they also offer panels for in-home to supplement your cell phone or your tablet. So that's an option to consider if you want a dedicated doorbell device. Weather resistant, not that we have any weather extremes here in Huntley, but it's certainly something you want to investigate and make sure that the camera will function at the temperature extremes we have here. The reviews and then the information I'm going to present, I picked up from these 3 different sources: Consumer Digest, safehome.org, and PC Magazine. And remember, the Computer Club makes no recommendations. So if you buy one of the devices and it doesn't work, don't blame me. On our reviews here, the prices shown are MSRP, manufacturer suggested retail price. Guess what? Amazon's lower. They're available at your favorite big box stores, which would mean Menards, Home Depot, Lowe's, Costco. They're all available there, and typically lower discounted prices from manufacturer's price. All of the websites have extensive details, probably as much as the Microsoft software license for Windows. Most offer other accessories, such as other cameras you can put in the house that link into the system via Wi-Fi or Bluetooth. And of course, Google doorbell camera for more information. And that doorbell camera Google search was my primary search on the information we're going to get into. The brands we're going to look at, and these were the top 5 from those 3 different sources I mentioned. Ring, Nest, we've heard of, I think, of those 2. Skybell was new to me. August was very new to me. Simply Safe, I've seen their advertising, and they offer more than just the doorbell camera. They offer a total home solution, as does Ring and Nest. We'll start now with Ring. This is typical doorbell camera. They have multiple models. The cost is anywhere from $99 and up. The monthly, almost everyone has a monthly fee for using their software, so keep that in mind. This is not just necessarily a one-time purchase. $3 and up. The connectivity is Wi-Fi or Ethernet. You have a battery powered or wired for power. Field of view is good. The 1080p resolution is typically similar to your high definition TV. The 1080p is what you want to look for in a high def TV or better. Storage to the cloud. They do have night vision function and a 1-year warranty. The Nest brand, $230 if you will, plus $5 a month. The resolution is that 1600 by 1200 is a good resolution. Yes, with the night vision, yes, cloud storage with a 2-year warranty, but the $5 a month, again, is another factor to consider. Skybell brand, $200 cost, no monthly cost, Wi-Fi only, wired for power only, a good resolution, store to the cloud, and yes on the night vision, 1-year warranty. August, 200 purchase, $3 a month, Wi-Fi, and so on and so on. The 1920 by 1440 is a good resolution. Simply Safe, $169, $15 a month, so their highest price as far as the monthly fees. Connectivity, standard Wi-Fi, good field of view, 1080 resolution, cloud storage, night vision, 3-year warranty.
David,
Yes.
that $15 a month, that includes their security system cost too. Yeah.
Bill pointed out that 15 a month is not just the doorbell camera, but it's their complete security system software. Thank you. So, video doorbells, there's the 5. Any questions to this point? Yes?
Dave, you may have seen Malware Bytes put out a news blast this week recommending people do not get them for security reasons. One of which was you have to share your Wi-Fi network and passwords with them. They store it on an unencrypted system that can be shared with third-party providers. I don't know if you saw that news blast.
Did not see that. What was brought up was that to use, was it universal all of the doorbell cameras or a particular brand?
All of them use Wi-Fi.
Okay, all that are Wi-Fi for their communications require that you share with them your Wi-Fi network name and password, and that could open you up to getting hacked or malware. I think any software you're using, I think we're all open to perhaps being hacked on our Wi-Fi in-house. That's why you need to have a really strong password. Them being hacked, yeah, but so can your bank, and so can, as we've seen, the credit card companies. So it's a risk reward you've got to evaluate for yourself.
David,
Yeah.
so on the monthly fee,
Yeah.
isn't there an option, well, so the monthly fee lets you store the camera images up on their cloud.
Right.
But don't some of those, and I'm not familiar with this, but don't some of those give you the option of not storing on the cloud and not having the fee? It's just whatever video goes right into your router.
Well, it's a question of what do you get for your monthly fee? And I didn't see that many that had local storage for video that you had to go to the cloud with it. So you're paying for the cloud usage.
Right.
Yeah.
So the option to that would be not to use the
Well,
cloud.
if you want to store the video, but you don't want to use the cloud, then you need to get a doorbell camera that has local memory stick storage.
Yeah.
They did not delve into that.
Or from the, because the video is going to your router, and then the router sends it to the cloud.
Right.
But from your router to your storage.
Yeah, that's something you have to really investigate when getting into the specifics of.
Yeah, there are, There are some, doorbell cameras with local storage, that are available right now.
It's because
Go in the kitchen, Sally.
Yeah, there are quite a few of them that are out right now with local storage, using SD cards. Usually it's a micro SD card, the real small ones, like you would put into your phone or your camera. UFI is one of the popular ones out right now, EUFY. But expect to see a lot of them coming out in the spring, from a lot of the major manufacturers. So, and you may not want to put up your doorbell in the middle of a snowstorm anyway, so looking towards a good weather day in the spring, you might want to see what's available coming up in 2020.
Yes,
I saw an article, this is about Ring, Amazon, but it may be the others as well, where they've entered into agreements with some 400 police departments around the country, in which the police departments have access, I think, to 45 days. Where the police department has access to 45 days of your videos that are on the cloud, and they don't need a warrant for that. They have access to it. It's a part of the agreement with, I know it's true with Amazon and Ring. I don't know about the other ones, but it's a point of view. They have to have an investigative reason to look at it, but it's available to them.
yeah, and there is software, and only one I'm aware of is Ring, software called Neighborhood. And you can have like a neighborhood watch organization, everybody get the software and the same doorbell camera, and they can share the information for the whole neighborhood, which it could then be used by the police to investigate break-ins and such.
Dave, I just, kind of curious, how many people here have installed a doorbell camera already? Any of you, if you use the wired version, did you have to change your transformer? Wow, that's terrific, because then we have, for a lot of people putting those in, they had to change the transformer. So it's nice to see that we didn't have anybody to do that, so our transformers are compatible. That's a nice thing.
Dave, one other question, and that was, is there a doorbell, these doorbells, that actually activates the lights on the porch when somebody presses the button?
Not that I'm aware of, but that would be a whole different situation of wiring to be able to do that. You know, we've seen some of the commercials for like Alexa, with Alexa can turn your lights on and such, but that requires having Wi-Fi enabled lights to do it. So there may be a way. I'm not familiar.
Get a motion detector light.
One more thing, David. A little funny story about these doorbells, if you'll have it. My son, that's why I know about Simply Safe, he uses that one, and they just moved in a new house in Wisconsin, and my wife and I recognized they didn't have an American flag, so we went out and bought him an American flag one day and installed it on his front porch, not realizing he had a Ring doorbell there. And he called me up immediately and he says, "What is going on my front porch?" I installed the flag in front of his Ring doorbell and it was driving his phone crazy. So be cognizant of where your flag is and where you're going to put your Ring doorbell.
Well, if I may, a word from your sponsor, our sponsor, kind of a take up from what Ralph commented on about needing more instructors for classes. A mission of the Computer Club is to provide free technical support and education to the members. Okay? Help wanted and needed in the lab. It's a very interesting situation we have. The lab is open 12 hours a week. My number is wrong. It's 16. What was the number this morning, Joe? 62. Okay.
What do you got for us?
So we have that many members for 12 hours a week, which is fine. We only have 10 techs. What does that mean? That means you could come to the lab and you're gonna have to wait your turn to get help. So we're looking to add more techs. Now, what does it take to be a tech? What are the qualifications? And this would be the same for being an instructor. Well, you've used a computer at work. You're comfortable with Windows, and I don't mean the thermal pane windows in the house. Google is a noun or a verb. I'm supposed to get a laugh, it didn't work. You know how to browse the internet, and those of you, ladies and gentlemen, that did your Christmas shopping from your living room, you did browse the internet. You know how to use your smartphone. That's more than just making phone calls. And you like helping other people. Those are the qualifications to be at the help desk at the lab. Now, if you're interested in volunteering, and trust me, the pay and the hours are terrific, right, Ralph?
Yes, they are. Fantastic. Just got
Best
a
in the
raise.
nation, we're on par with everyone else. Please come on up, talk with any of us here this morning about it, or stop by the lab and inquire. Any questions now about helping out the lab? Yes? Okay, back to the doorbell. Hang on, let's get a microphone to you.
Raise your hand.
John, that's that one, John. Take a different mic.
Here we go. Dave has one.
I was wondering if you use the motion detector, the doorbell. With the doorbell camera, does that deactivate the sound of the actual doorbell inside the chime? It just go to your phone?
No, I think it only goes to the phone or the tablet that you're using as the device, I think. I don't know. Those of you that have the camera, doorbell camera now, does it ring your doorbell? It does ring the doorbell, okay. Yeah, George?
It'll also come up on Alexa. It'll also come up on Alexa.
Okay. If you have Alexa, it will also talk to her or him. Other questions? Shelley?
And thank you all for coming. And remember, for next month, we are meeting on Thursday, so don't show up on Saturday. It'll be Thursday, January 9th. Happy holidays, everyone.
Cheese, table tablecloth.